the new day opening gap, and new week opening. Gap indicators are available for various platforms on the TradingFinder website. From this section, you can download the indicator file for MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5 platforms and run it on the chart. Traders can also refer to this page to understand how the indicator works and how to use it. Drag the indicator file onto the chart, enable Allow DLL imports and confirm. The indicator finds and draws daily gaps. Just make sure to activate this port tick from the common section of ELO-DEL's option, and then click on the confirmation option. The indicator starts searching daily gaps on chart. Here, it has identified a daily gap and marked it where the price closed and where it opened next day. It has recognized and drawn this gap in the input section. Input section offers display settings with a custom template having 3 modes: dark theme, light theme, and auto theme. Selecting dark theme applies a dark template. Choosing light theme executes a light template. My chart template is auto, changing candle colors, bullish to bright green, bearish to bright red. In the input section, options begin with the display settings. A custom template for the indicator has 3 modes: dark theme, light theme, and auto theme. Selecting the dark theme option applies a dark template to the chart. Choosing the light theme applies a light template to the chart. Auto mode only alters the color of the candles, with bullish candles turning bright green and bearish candles turning bright red. The general settings of the indicator follow. Modify display modes of the gaps. The first mode shows the annual gaps and reopen the new annual gap from here. Selecting the dark theme option applies a dark template to the chart. Choosing the light theme applies a light template to the chart. Auto mode only alters the color of the candles, with bullish candles turning bright green and bearish candles turning bright red. The next section covers the indicator's general settings. You can adjust display modes for gaps: annual, monthly, weekly, and daily. Each mode calculates and displays up to the last 5 candles. The annual mode allows reopening the new annual gap. The monthly mode shows or hides the monthly gap opening. The weekly mode, true by default, shows or hides the weekly gap opening. The daily mode shows or hides the daily gap opening. You can enable or disable the daily gap display. The settings also let you configure 2 modes if the gap is filled or approaches the gap. Selecting the first option shows the gap, while the second removes it from the chart. The default setting displays the gap and marks it brown when filled. And the last section is about the opening of the daily gap, which calculates and displays up to the last 5 candles. From this part, you can enable or disable the display of the daily gap. Finally, in the last settings section, you can configure 2 modes if the gap gets filled or comes close to the gap. By selecting the first option, it will remove the gap from the chart, and by choosing the second option, it will display the gap. Here, the default setting is active, which shows it for us, and when the gap is filled, it keeps it for us and marks it in brown. If we select the last option and set it to the removal mode, it will clear the price gaps from the chart. It clears it from the chart, and by selecting the second pass, it shows that the default routine is active here, which is displayed for us, and by passing and filling it, it will keep its price for us and draw it in brown color. It does if. Let's select the last option and set it to the removal mode, which will clear the price gaps from the chart. Well friends, we've reached the end of this indicator tutorial. We'd be happy to have you share your comments and suggestions with us in the comments section.